recapping games, it was a weird sort of weekend because we kind of had games like every single day. It was like, what day of the week is it? There's games on Thursday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday, and it was
Mhm.
kind of a mirage. But this first game on Thursday, the Rams beat the Saints 30-22, handled them. Really, I mean, it wasn't as close as that score indicates. The Rams pretty much dominated that entire game. Am I right, Jerry?
Oh, absolutely. Uh, Kyron Williams had a huge game, and I believe Puka Nakua had like what 156 yards, something like that. I know he got Offensive Player of the Week this week for the NFC. They absolutely blew the doors off the Saints. Definitely not as close
Kamara didn't look
as it
good.
should have been. What's that?
Jason.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 0-7, folks.
0-7. That we'll get to that a little bit later. It's unfortunate, but we're hitting this week. But Jason, real quick, Puka Nakua, absolutely fantastic. Putting his name up there with some of the most elite wide receivers to have ever played the game
As a rookie.
as a rookie. My question to you is: about 3 weeks ago, we crowned C.J. Stroud Offensive Rookie of the Year, guaranteed, no doubt. Does Puka Nakua have a chance to take that crown?
Absolutely. It definitely helps that CJ Stroud hasn't played for the last 2 weeks, and that's two possible 200 to 300 yard games that show on his stats. So,
Mhm.
um, absolutely, I believe that Puka is actually probably the favorite now. I would assume. I haven't checked to see, but I would assume he is the favorite now after the last few games that he's had.
Would you give him the award if you were
If it ended today,
master of the universe? Yeah,
yes, yes.
you would.
If the season ended today, I would give it to him. Now we still have 2 weeks left, and CJ Stroud could show that, yeah, I'm still him. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's been unguardable, honestly, and quite the
Mhm.
surprise for the Rams when, especially when Cooper Cup was down, and now honestly is playing better than Cooper Cup, even though he's
Absolutely.
back. So it's
Hmm.
pretty cool to watch. Uh, the Rams made a surprising jump on our power rankings this week, which you will see here shortly. We moved to Saturday. The Steelers eviscerated the Bengals. It wasn't really close. Unfortunate. Jig Browning kind of showed why he is considered a backup. I mean, they're not the season's not over. They could still make the playoffs, but it's going to be a lot more difficult now, especially since they don't have a division win yet. I don't see that. Unfortunately, I just don't see the Bengals making it in when they have the Chiefs and the Browns to play, and you would have to win both of those to make it into the playoffs. Bills, Chargers, Bills scrape away 24-22. Jason, what was going on? Is Josh Allen reverting back, or was it just one of those games that, hey, they still won, they're still on the upward trajectory? What do you think?
I don't know. I think we've seen it with the past few examples where your interim coach comes in and the team plays a lot better for that coach, and I think that's kind of what we got. I don't expect it to continue to happen like it has with the Raiders, but I think you get one of those games. You get an interim coach and players are playing their best games out there.
Yeah, it's with that interim coach, like there's like it's almost undefeated
Yeah,
and coming in against the spread, not
yeah,
actually und I mean, almost undefeated,
yeah.
undefeated.
Mhm.
But against the spread, I think it is undefeated this year and like the last few years against the spread. There's just like a certain energy that these interim coaches come in, and it's like these guys that have been coaching for like 20 years, but only position coaches. They finally get like a coordinator job or like a linebacking. That's what the Raiders guy,
Mhm.
he's a linebackers coach who's now the head coach, and he has them like playing a much better brand of football than any other time this season. So it's interesting that whole energy spike you get from teams that fire their head coach. Maybe every week you should just fire your head coach. You go undefeated. I don't know.
I
Uh,
saw somebody had a take. They should just bring in Josh McDaniels for 1 week and then fire him, and then bring in somebody else because they always win the week after McDaniels has been fired.
yeah,
So
that makes hey. I think if you're a struggling franchise, you should really look into that. Um, Starting Sunday, the Browns beat the Texans 36-22 in a big statement win for the Browns. Now, Texans didn't have CJ Stroud. They were playing Case Keenum, but through three and a half quarters, Case Keenum only had 62 passing yards and 2 interceptions. That defense just absolutely smothered them. The final score looks a little bit closer than the game really was. The Browns were up 36-7, with the 7 points being off of a kickoff return for a touchdown, and the other 2 touchdowns came in garbage time after the Browns sat their starters, and they recovered an onside kick. I mean, it was just like that game was an absolute bludgeoning, Browns to Texans. And it's funny watching the game. My inner Browns was coming out when they got the touchdown and onside kick. I'm like, we're gonna find a way to
Yeah.
blow this. Like, I get it. We're still up 2 scores with 4 minutes left, but I saw us give
Ugh.
15 points
Hey.
in a minute and 40 seconds last year.
And for
So
those who haven't seen it, when his inner Brown comes out, take a couple steps back.
Yep.
Take a,
it's
take a
scary.
couple
Take several steps back. You may want to go to a different building. It's not my finest hour, but Browns come away with the win. They are a 10-win team right now, and this is the first time in 73 years. That's not 723. 73 years. People have been born and died since the
A lot of
last
people.
time. A lot of people have been born and died since the last time the Browns and the Lions have had 10-win seasons. I don't know if it's the apocalypse. I don't know what's happening, but we have 10 wins.
Have the Browns and the Lions ever won the division in the same year?
No, please. The
No.
Browns
Yeah,
haven't
I
won.
was putting the question out there. I had no idea. I assume no, but
The Browns have never won the AFC North because that was realignment in like 2002. But when they were in the AFC Central, they haven't won that division since 1986. So yeah,
And
it's
then-
been a hot minute, and we're probably not going to win the division this year. But guess what? We're 10-5. We're going to probably make the playoffs with 4 different quarterbacks, with everyone 30% of our roster or 30% of our salary cap on IR. I mean, it's been an unbelievable season. Coach Stefanski is right now the odds-on favorite for Coach of the Year, and for good reason.
Yep.
So moving forward, Falcons beat the Colts 29-10. I guess no one wants to win the AFC South. Colts looked pretty abysmal in that game. Seahawks inch one out against the Titans. Lions beat the Vikings. Jerry, Lions clinch for the first time in 30 years. They win the NFC North. I mean, that's got to be. You never want to be the team that like celebrates that you won the division, like the season's over. But when you're the Lions, that's acceptable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you take it at the cost of the Pistons never winning a game in their entire franchise ever again. But hey, they'll take a Lions NFC North title any day of the week. Jared Goff has got those boys going, baby. He's got those boys going. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's got to be up there top 5 most explosive player in the league right now. I mean, dude is insane. And they did this all without even getting the ball to Sam Laporta this weekend. He had, I think, 1 catch, maybe 2 catches for like 15 yards. They got so many weapons on that team. The only downside of the team is the defense, but they've kind of turned it around the past couple of weeks too. So, if they get hot, they're still in the running for the 1 seed. You never know. You never know.
They play the Cowboys this weekend, so that's a big game for them. The other thing too, it's like they almost gave that game away at the end. If Nick Mullins doesn't throw his 4th pick of the game, trying to throw it 50 yards with a minute left, like it was a Hail Mary pass, if he doesn't do that, who knows how that game ends. But still, it's very nice as a Browns fan, as a team that's been stuck in misery for a long time and have recently had a little bit of success and having success this season. It's nice to see the fellow really, really bad franchise start to have some success and get that monkey off their back. So good for the Lions. Jets beat the Commanders 30-20 or 30-28. Commanders come all the way back in that game. Jason, Jacoby Brissett starter for the rest of the season?
Should be. I mean, he's the only thing that sparked life into that team. So it's like roll with him.
I believe when they benched Sam Howell, he had a passer rating of like 5.
Yeah.
I think
that's
that's
pretty good.
correct. For those that don't know, a pass rating goes up to 154.8, I believe. And or 150. Is that right? 158.4 maybe.
158.3, I think.
0.3. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I was somewhere in there. He had 5. That's like the SpongeBob episode where he's like, "What did you get? 6. What did I need? 6. Woo!
I was thinking the
100."
same thing. Our brains are in sync, brother.
It was a pretty tough day for Sam Howell. Jacoby Brissett comes in though, gives him the
Yeah.
spark, like you said, Jason. And I mean,
For Sam Howell's confidence, do not keep starting him and then benching him and then starting him and then benching him. He's going to look a lot like Carson Wentz if you keep doing that. So
yeah, and that's never good for a player, especially
No.
when, and they're about to go through a coaching change. Like there's
Mhm.
0% chance that Ron Rivera holds on to that job. But moving on, Packers squeak one out against the Panthers. Did the Panthers have a good game, or are the Packers defense really just that bad, Jerry?
I think the Packers defense is that bad. They kind of did the same thing the Lions did. They were up by 2 scores on them and kind of let them back into the game, and then finally got the ball and were able to go down the field and get a game-winning field goal. But it's been the Packers' Achilles heel all year. Jordan Love has had a pretty decent year, but their defense, they can't stop anybody. Their secondary is so bad. And then you have a guy like Jair Alexander going out on the coin toss, who's not a designated captain, almost costing them the ball. They almost gave the Panthers the ball to start the first half and the second
And
half.
the second half, yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
bad.
That's definitely like a coaching kind of discipline thing going on there, and I think he's been suspended by the team for the rest of the year for it, which is another huge piece of their defense because he's been pretty good. He's honestly the only player I can name on that defense right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, their defense has just been so bad. We saw it last week against the Buccaneers with Baker tossing 4 TDs on them. If they make it to the playoffs, there's no way they're going to be able to stop somebody like they'd have to play the Eagles or probably the Lions, which no way.
Oh, the Lions are scoring 10 touchdowns on them.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't stop anybody. I mean, literally, no. But Baker Mayfield, like Baker's had a good year. Don't get me wrong, but he threw for 380 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like what? Absolutely absurd.
Crazy.
Jason, speaking of Baker Mayfield,
Broad watch.
what's going on, dude?
Broad watch.
4 straight losses. What is happening?
who's
to the
on fraud
Jacksonville
watch?
Jaguars?
We are.
Okay.
We are on fraud watch. Again, another week where I don't think Trevor Lawrence should be playing. Got out of concussion protocol like the day before the game. Like, what are we doing? He's getting more injured, getting more hurt. Just let him sit a week and have him healthy when we need to win. Like, it's coming down to the last 2 games. I mean, easy teams. Luckily, the schedule is the way it is. But that being said, it's going to be tough after we win those 2 games and we meet up with whoever. It could be the Browns, the Bills, the Bengals, the Texans, like any one of those teams can come out and beat us. So hopefully we get together, get fully healthy, and put together something.
It was tough. I mean, again, don't get me wrong. The Buccaneers are red hot right now. They're a good ball club. It's not like you lost to, the Giants or something, but
Right.
still,
Yeah,
That's
I mean, it looks like we were not beating the Giants the way we were playing. So
yeah.
You guys might not beat the Panthers this week.
Hey, chill, bro.
Yeah.
Chill, bro.
Just saying, man. You guys aren't on
No.
fraud watch. You guys are frauds, confirmed.
Coming from the Broncos fan.
Hey,
So-
I know
right?
what we are, okay? We all know what we are.
The Bears beat the Cardinals in a game that meant nothing. The Dolphins beat the Cowboys 22-20. It was a pretty solid game. The Fraud Bowl turns out that the Cowboys, I guess, are officially the frauds, although it seemed like both teams belonged on the field together. It was a very
Mhm.
good game. If the Cowboys get one more stop, or if Tony Pollard runs in that touchdown, I mean, that game goes a little bit differently. And then the Dolphins, I mean, to Tua's credit, Mike McDaniel's credit to that entire offense's credit, they went down the field and got some key first downs so that they could just run out the clock on the final kick from like 30 yards. So, kudos to the Dolphins. Good game. And if they win this weekend, they're in the driver's seat to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. If the Ravens win, they will be the number 1 seed in the AFC. So it'll be a great game again this week. The Patriots, Jerry. We went from Jason's team, what's going on? They still have playoff hopes, to the 4-win Patriots come in and beat the Broncos. What happened that game? We talked about it a little bit before we got on the show here, but tell the people at home, like, what is happening to the Denver Broncos?
Yeah, first off, I just want to say that I'm happy that 1/3 of this podcast is having a great year and has the playoffs essentially confirmed. I'll say confirmed.
Look,
Dog,
it's still a pretty
you-
solid year, and we're
don't-
making the playoffs. Do we get beat the first week? Probably, but we're making the playoffs. Okay,
Trevor
give me at least a half.
Trevor
Just say
Lawrence is,
1.5.
like,
All right, just say 1.5.
practically
Just
dead.
say 1.5. Just say 1.5. Just say 1.5. All right. At least give me a half.
All right, I'll give you a half. No,
Okay.
the Patriots. Dude, I was watching this game, and it was painful. To start, you get first play of the game, force a fumble on Bailey Zappi, get the ball down on the 6-yard line. I'm like, man, it's go time. This is the playoff push. We're gonna win. Like this is the game, right? This is the game. Ball on the 6-yard line, drive starts, can't punch it in. Can't even get a field goal because we go for it on 4th down. Don't get it. I'm like, okay, whatever. You go for it in that scenario 10 times out of 10 because they have the ball inside their own 5 to start the drive. We force 3 and out, or at least force them to punt. I don't know if it was a 3 and out. And then we have 2 more possessions in a row. We finally are able to punch one in, go up 7-0. And then all hell breaks loose. We can't get the ball moving at all. Our run game is completely dead. We're trying to run inside zone on a great interior defense that the Patriots have. It's not working. Russ is... I've seen the play 1,000 times where he's got a pocket 5 yards by 5 yards, and he's running into our tackles, bouncing off of them, and then gets sacked. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And then the third quarter happens, and they score, I think, 14 points in like 6 seconds, something like that. Great. We tie it up 23-23, force another 3 and out, so we get the ball back, minute 45 to go. We call screen. This is on our own 39-yard line. We have 3 timeouts. We call screen, outside sweep to the short side, and then I think it's a pass that is going nowhere because Russ can't get out of his own head. I'm trying not to swear right now. I'm trying to keep it clean. And so we punt the ball back. I'm like, okay, this is going to go to OT. They run the ball twice. We give them 2 free timeouts. 2 free timeouts. So they're like, okay, let's take a shot. Devontae Parker up against Patrick Surtain, who's been playing like a top 5 corner this year, absolutely blows it, and they get the shot. And then, of course, they go down, kick the field goal to win the game. I'm like, okay, season's over. I was so PO'd, I went to bed. I woke up the next morning. I'm like, okay, we're 7-8. We're one game out of a playoff spot. There's a chance. There's a chance. I was cooking up the scenarios in my head. We come to Wednesday morning. This morning, roughly around noon, Adam Schefter tweets, Sean Payton has decided to bench Russell Wilson for Jarrett Stidham for the rest of the year. Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham. What are we doing? We are 1 game out of a playoff spot, and we have a chance to win the damn division still. And we're benching Russell Wilson for Jarrett Stidham. I know there's financial reasons for it, and this just tells you how much Sean Payton hates Russell Wilson. He's hated him all year long ever since he got in the door. Why are you benching your starting quarterback who's been playing? He hasn't been playing great. He's been playing good. He's been playing good enough. He hasn't been playing great in the sense that we haven't been able to push the ball downfield.
You guys were 1-5 at one point.
Yes,
You're 7-8 right now.
we're 7-8. He says we need a spark on the offense, dude. How about don't call screen outside zone terrible pass play from your own 39-yard line with a minute 40 to go with 3 timeouts? I don't want to say it's 100% Sean Payton's fault, but dude, if you're gonna blame Russell Wilson and have him be the scapegoat, you got to take a look in the mirror, dog. You got to take a look in the mirror because something is not right there. It's time to. I want to say cut everybody, fire everybody, but we did that last year. And we're in the same freaking boat. And now we're starting Jarrett Stidham.
Tough luck. It's a tough look. It's unfortunate for you
Sorry,
guys.
that took
It's
up a lot of
unfortunate
time,
for the
but
Bears. No, it's okay. No, we appreciate the diatribes. Those are, this is what the experience of being a football fan for the NFL team that's not, a perennial amazing squad feels like. You're just like
Hey,
always.
Yeah, clip that whole thing.
Exactly. Well, unfortunate for the Broncos, especially with them benching their starting quarterback. That pretty much ends their playoff hopes. That moves us on to Christmas Day. Let's just real quickly through this. Let's all revel in the fact that the Chiefs lost without the opposing team throwing a completion outside of the first quarter. Pretty
0
amazing.
passing yards,
0
3 quarters.
passing.
And they can beat the Chiefs, and we gotta bench Russell Wilson to start Jarrett Stidham.
Exactly.
Unreal.
Eagles come in, they beat the Giants. An era has ended.
Yep.
An era has ended. The Paisano himself got benched for Tyrod Taylor. You hate to see it, but Tyrod Taylor definitely gave them a better opportunity to win that game, and actually had a chance to tie it up there at the end. And then you go to the Ravens Niners, and that was just an absolute bludgeoning from the Ravens. And even saying that, the Niners kind of had a chance. They score that touchdown, and then they get the ball right back. They go down. If they score that second touchdown with more than 2 minutes left, they have all 3 timeouts plus a 2-minute warning before they kick the ball back to, or after they kick the ball back to Baltimore. And then at that point, it would have only been a 7-point game. But instead, Sam Darnold gets sacked for a 10-yard loss and then throws an interception.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
you
You hate to see it.
I really hate to see it because if the Ravens lose that game, we have a shot at the number 1 spot in the division. We still have that shot, but we need the Ravens to lose both games, which they're not going to do. So that is a recap. That's probably been our longest recap so far. Wait, real quick, backing up. You don't think the Ravens? You think the Ravens have a chance to lose one of these next two, or both of these next two? Rather?
Yeah, they have the Dolphins and then
Yeah,
the
but
Steelers
chance.
who are going to be playing for a playoff spot. I'm not saying it's likely. I'm just saying it's not impossible. Dolphins are fighting for that 1 seed, dog.
I do
they're gonna
think
come to
they,
play.
yeah, like there's an actual chance for them to lose to the Dolphins. That being said, the Steelers
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
not. We'll see what they get next
If-
week. We'll see
if
what we get
Steelers
next
already
if
beat
they
them once
lose-
this year.
Yes, but if they beat the Steelers or if they beat the Dolphins at home, I'm sorry. If they lose to the Dolphins at home, they know that the division is literally on the line for that Steelers game, so they're all going to show up. So I don't think it's very likely that a 3-loss team loses their last 2 games, but it's not impossible, and I will keep my hopes alive as long as we win tomorrow. That has been our recap for the games this week. That's been our longest recap. Lots of emotions felt by all of us on the games this weekend. Thanks for watching this video of the Unnamed Sports Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on social media at Unnamed Sports S. Also, be sure to join us live Wednesdays at 7 p.m.